and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Christmas Scottie, but let's take the Christmas out because we're not going to be doing a Christmas card because it's way too early. However, this is my pre-order available for you guys, not very long now, beginning of July through to the end of the year, which is why the autumn winter catalogue always has quite a lot of a Christmas feel to it. But this one I absolutely loved because you've got the Scottie Dog and you've got the punch. And you've got some lovely Christmas sayings with "May your days be furry and bright and Merry Christmas," but you've also got "You always loved," and you've got a woof, so you can have woof woof, and the Scottie Dogs are just lovely. So you've got the punch that you can use it with. You can also, as I've shown you in a previous video, you can actually just stamp out the Scottie Dog in designer series paper or in the centre of this one. But today we're going to use it as a traditional Scottie, so a black dog, and we're going to be using this one in a different way. So you can use this stamp in lots of different ways. So let's get started. Colours we're using today are, and I've got a scrap here to use, we're using Highland Heather because obviously Scotties come from Scotland, and you know, you've got the Highland Heather, and we're using Gorgeous Grape with it so that it tones in beautifully. So let's start with the Highland Heather, and I am going to ink up my stamp. Now this one, you need to make sure that you ink it up quite well because it is a solid and it's quite a large stamp. So I'm inking it up like that, and then I am just going to put it down in on here, give it a press, and that's one, which has come out beautifully. And with large stamps, I tend to put my pad to the stamp so that I can then make sure that I've got the whole area covered nicely. So we want 2 of these, and with photopolymer you can always put a foam mat underneath. I've got quite a lot of grid paper and I've also got a tablecloth. Okay, so that's 2 of those, and then we are going to do 2 of the Gorgeous Grape, which is the darker purple, which I think will look lovely. Now obviously because it's a darker colour, I don't have to turn round and clean my pad. I can just put it straight down. Oh, that's come out a bit blobby. Let me try again on here. The other one came out fine, so it's just my not putting it down properly, making sure that I've got, I can see there's a little tiny bit on here that might not come out perfectly, but I'm just going to stand up a minute and give it an extra press. You can always use the Stamparatus if it's coming out, and it's because mine is fairly juicy, so I'm going to do another one just as a spare, and you can see in on here it's inking up nicely. Put it down on here, and again sometimes it's my inking that's not particularly good, and I think that should be perfect. Yes. Okay, so we now have these, and you can use your trimmer to trim them down, or you can just use a pair of scissors, and I am going to use a pair of our paper snips because I want these to be exactly the same size. So we want 4 of them, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut down on the line and then cut down on the line here. Now if you want them absolutely square, you can cut them. They will cut to just 2 by 2. So, and I'm saying just because one side is just a little bit narrower, because it's the actual shape is more of a rectangle than a square, but I'm doing it as a rectangle because that's my card is a rectangular one, but you can cut it at any size you want. You can also do like little inchies and match them up. Great way of, if you haven't got any designer series paper or you haven't got any that matches what you're doing, this is a really good way of just cutting up what you want. And these are the better ones, aren't they? This really wasn't very I didn't stamp this out very well, but as I say, you can always use your stamparatus. Let's cut this one down here, and I don't think it'll matter because I think on this particular card a lot of it's going to be covered up anyway, so I'm just cutting it down on here, cutting it down on this one. And as I say, you can do it with your trimmer if you want to, but to just show you that you can, because there's lines to follow, you don't have to do it on the paper trimmer if you don't want to. So this is going to come in on this one, like that. Okay, so we now have 4 rectangles, but as I said, if you want to, you can see by the shape of this, you could actually do it as a square. So if you want a 2-inch square, you can do it as a square. In fact, I don't know whether I've got one that's a square. Did I cut? Yes. There we go. There's one that I cut out earlier, which I did on the trimmer, which is a square. But we're doing it in the rectangle today. Now, what I've done is, to save a little bit of time, I've just literally stamped the Scottie image, this one. If you stamp that one, that will cut out with the punch. These two are obviously like different shapes. So you've got one where he's, you know, sitting on his hind legs with his paw up. You've got this one where he's looking sideways. And this is the one that I wanted. So I've just stamped him out in Memento, and I've chosen the "You Are Always Loved" sentiment, and I've cut that out, and I've used, now this is going way back, I don't know how many people will remember the word bubbles dies, and they call them framelit dies. And I use these quite a lot because I like things that have word bubbles, and it just looked as if the dog had a word bubble, so that's what I've used. You can always just cut it out and just frame it and put it in that way. So we're going to use Gorgeous Grape as a background. I'm not going to stick it on because I will cut something out of it. And then we are going to put these in on here, alternating, so we can have the dark and the dark down on here. I'm just trying to get it where it's not quite so. I didn't quite catch that one when I was stamping it, but I think most of it will be covered up, so I think we should be all right. So that's going to go in that way, and then this one is going to go in. Let's turn that one round that way. Take it over a bit, and then this one is going to come in over here like that. So we're going to have it so that it's, you've got the rectangle, but you can make it fit the shape that you've got. So mine is a rectangular card, so I want it to fit that shape. You can trim it down completely if you want to, but you don't have to. So I'm going to have the dark up first. So let's just put this down with some wet glue. So, and I want about that size of border, and then we'll have this one is going to come in over on here, so we want you can take it out as far as you want, so you have the same sort of size border, if you see what I mean. So that makes it a little bit easier. So this one I need to make sure, and because you've got your lines to follow, it's fairly easy to do. So that's going to come to there. Lovely. And then this one is going to come in on here, and I want this fairly far down. So this is going to come in this way. We'll put that one in, and as I say, because it's quite straight, it's easy to line up because you've got your lines to follow. So it's a really easy one to do and makes a big difference. And we'll have it that way around. So we'll take that one up to its line there. Make sure I've got my bottoms and my tops and sides lined up. And that's got that in on there, which is quite nice. So then when that comes in on here, you've got that lovely check-in on there. And as I say, I would probably do it on the Stamparatus because it does make a difference. But the Scottie Dog is going to sit slap bang in the middle there. And I'm going to have the "You Are Loved" up on there. So in fact, I think a lot of it is going to get covered up anyway. So I can put him up with dimensionals, or I can keep him as he is. I'm just going to put him like that so that you can see. Put that on there. And then you've got a really lovely, simple card. I could have stuck this on a frame if I wanted to. I wanted to keep it just nice and simple for you. But as I say, you know, you can use the checks or the tartan pattern, and you can put it onto, you know, coordinating coloured cardstock, cut it down to whatever size you want. It's really versatile, and I think it's going to work absolutely beautifully on a lot of things. So it's the Christmas Scottie, available for beginning of July until the end of the year, end of December. And the coordinating punch, when you buy both of them together, you get a 10% discount. So it's worth getting it, and I just love it. I'm going to use it lots. So as always, thank you so much for watching me. Please be safe, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.